Hey, you. It's a blind life. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the It's a Blind Life podcast. My name is Aria.
And I'm Belle.
And we are two legally blind sisters who made a podcast in order to talk about our lives as blind people. We talk about whatever we want to talk about, when we want to talk about it. There is no rhyme or reason to any of it at all. And today, what we are doing is we are talking about different cooking gadgets that help, along with like the types of plates and utensils we use. Now, you might not think that that's like a really big deal. To most people, it should be like, you should just use whatever. And in the most parts, we do. Sometimes you don't have the option of what you can use. So...
i.e. restaurants.
Exactly. So a lot of times, yeah, we use what we use. But when we are at home, we have kind of a certain thing that we like to look for every time we need to get plates or when we need to get new utensils, that kind of thing. As well as different like cooking gadgets that are very helpful to us when we do cook. So... that being said, where do you want to start off, Belle? Where do you
I was
think?
about to say, don't look at me, because growing up, I had a favorite plate and bowl, and like that's like all I would use.
I mean,
even though they
fair.
were not the most blind people friendly.
I mean, that's fair. The thing is, for me, they had the Zoo Pals paper plates. Like
those were
my
great.
favorite.
I loved those.
Those were my favorite. I loved them.
I loved those. My food didn't have to touch. It was great. I loved those. And I had my favorite Disney princess plastic plate. I think it was yours.
It probably was.
And then it became mine, and it was my plate because it was very small, and I ate very little, so it was like just the perfect thing.
Yep.
And that was my plate.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that plate. Mom probably got rid of it, but...
I'm sure. But yeah, so our family, they started out like not, really knowing what would be the most optimal for us. And as time has gone on, we have found what works well for us. What I think works the absolute best, Belle hates.
Yeah.
So instead of that, we have compromised and met in the middle. And so plate-wise, what is that? The thing that I have found that works the best is to have...
Pause. We should explain this whole plate thing and why the heck we're talking about plates.
Okay, go ahead.
So I didn't even realize this until we moved to our new house. And in the move, Mom and Dad were looking to buy new dishes. And they're like, oh, we need to take the girls to get new dishes. And I'm like, I am 7. Why do I need to go with you to buy dishes? Mm-hmm. And they're like, so you can see the food on your plate. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, what are you talking about? They're like, Belle, it's not normal for you to just sit there and stab at things and just hope something ends up on your fork. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh well. So we went and we had to find plates that we could see the food on. Because like when you're getting like actual plates, you need to get something that has kind of a like more of like a design. Mm-hmm. Am I saying this correctly? Well, so that way you can see like the different degrees of food.
So that there are a couple different theories, methods to the madness, right?
Our parents we're going to get this floured plate.
That was their method to the madness. Because the thing is what like worked best for us. Sometimes our mom was like, let's find another option.
Those are ugly. We are not getting those plates.
Let's find another option. And so like we've went through like different iterations, and it got to the point where it was just like, we do what we do and like that's it. That's all we can do. Now, when we moved down here, there was a new set that our mom had gotten for when, she was ready to replace her dishes. And we ended up just taking that because it was a set that we had picked together.
Yeah, this was back when, what was it, Bonton was closing?
I believe so.
Anybody remember Bonton?
Oh, Bonton.
The home set, like, they were closing, and our mom was like, well, I'm eventually going to need to replace dishes. And if I can get dishes that you girls can see on,
yes,
at a cheaper price,
yes,
let's do it.
And that was also the time that I was moving into my apartment.
Oh, and you got your nonsense plates.
Okay, so here's what works best for me, and then here's what works best for both of us. Okay, what I found works best for me is having. So when I went to get my plates at Bonton when they were closing, they didn't have like a lot of like full sets, but they had some really nice plateware that it was
these plain sets that were just in different colors.
Yeah, that only had 1 or 2 plates in them. It wasn't like a full 4 set or 8 set, something like that. But what I ended up doing was I ended up just getting a couple different colors that worked well together. And that's what I used. And I made a full set, essentially, like a full 8 set by getting different colors. And pretty much what I liked about that was I had lighter plates and I had darker plates. And so if I was eating lighter food, I could pick a darker plate. And if I was eating darker food, I could pick a lighter plate. And that way I was able to kind of balance it out to be able to see what's on the plate, or to see as best to my ability what's on the plate or in the bowl, because it was the same difference. Now, Belle absolutely positively hated that.
But I'm also OCD.
Yes. So when we were moving down here, she said, no, that isn't happening. We're not doing that.
We are not stressing me out.
Try again. And so we ended up taking the new set that our mom got. And it is, I believe, just like a gray.
Yeah, it's like a dark gray, I think. And thereabouts.
And so kind of the method with that is that it is a medium color. So if you put dark food on, it still stands out. If you put light food on, it stands out. And if it's like a medium color food, it normally still stands out. Like there's not really any food that's gray.
Peas.
So, well, yeah, but we haven't eaten peas on those plates. Or you haven't, because I won't eat them.
I ate them at Christmas.
Yeah. So regardless, though, like that's typically what we go for plate-wise. Utensil-wise, I have learned that I love black silverware.
For me, it doesn't matter on the utensil. It really doesn't to me.
It doesn't.
No. For me, I'm also just, I will stab with reckless abandonment until I feel the weight change. That is something for me, that's the only thing I have against certain silverware, is it needs to be a lighter silverware. So that way, whenever I stab, I can drastically feel a weight difference when something is on the fork.
Yeah.
That is my only thing that I desire, so I know that something is there.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I like the black silverware that we have now. It's just, I don't know, it's much easier on my eyeballs than like the shiny.
Yeah, the nonsensical ones you had.
Those were all right, but I'm glad we got rid of those.
I am too. So happy.
So, yeah. So that's plate and utensil wise. Now, as for like cooking gadgets themselves, definitely a big one is a meat thermometer. That has been huge.
Yes.
Trying to think what else.
I'm going to try to describe them because I don't know the name. But our mom had them, and I think they've been around for a long time. They are the foldable measuring cups.
Oh, yeah.
That have the big number.
On the bottom.
On
yes.
the bottom.
Yes.
Those are lovely.
Those are the best. We love those. Because it makes it so much easier to, like, read what you're picking up. My only thing is I wish it was a color contrast. But
yeah, but like I'll take what I can get.
exactly. We take what we can get. We get what we get and we don't get upset. Those are awesome though. Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah, I had a really nice set of metal ones in college that like I could see. Don't ask me how our father found them.
Mm-hmm.
He found like this set of like metal ones, and like he's like, you can really see the number on it, and like for metal ones that's like rare,
Mm-hmm.
but we could really see it. I liked those, but I prefer the collapsible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another one is we don't use it often, but I have it in case we need it. And that's the little, like, there's like little wooden things that you can like hook on to the oven rack to like pull it out and then like use it to like push it back in.
Is that the things that I'm supposed to use but don't use?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that.
You don't do that, but I like that we have them though.
You
because
use them. I don't.
I do on occasion, because I mean, there's not a lot of things that I do that I have to pull out the rack to like look or like do temps or anything like that. Like, I mean, normally I just take it out, do whatever I need to do, and then put it back in.
I mean,
like,
yeah, also to be fair, I'm not really allowed to use the oven much. I'm not trusted.
Not trusted.
I'm not trusted. For good reason. I am not trusted.
Not trusted. So there's those. I'm trying to think, what else do we use that we really like? I mean, there was a time when I wanted like full arm oven mitts.
Oh yeah, there was a time you wanted that nonsense.
No one ever got that for me. But the one thing that I did like that we did have, I don't know if we have it here, but we had them at home, was the non-cut gloves. Essentially, they're like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You use them when you're chopping, and if you happen to like hit yourself, you won't get cut. They're like
wimp.
They protect you from that.
This is going to show the big difference between the two of us because I cut with reckless abandonment.
Meanwhile,
slow, dainty, me.
Yeah.
Same thing. This is also why I can't be trusted with the oven, because I used the oven whenever I was making mac and cheese a couple weeks ago. I still got the burn going on from when I did it. Yeah, this is why I should not be trusted in the kitchen. But for some reason, I'm the only one out of the two of us who can really cook. But I shouldn't be trusted because no sense of self-preservation.
Not
an iota of self-preservation.
Not an iota. So yeah, there's that. Then there's
those.
And we don't have those here either, but they're like scissors, but like one end has a chopping board, so like you could cut easily. I loved those. We have them at home.
Oh, like the meat scissors that you'd cut meat with. And I'm like, Aria, just use a knife.
Yes,
those. I'm struggling.
Those. No, I like, if I can cut something with like the kitchen scissors, I'ma do that. Like that just makes life infinitely easier for me.
Dumb. That is baby way. You are not a baby.
No. However, I
have self-preservation
to keep all of my fingers attached to my body.
You can just say I have self-preservation.
That too.
Everybody's probably like thinks I'm ridiculous. No, it's really I will cut my finger and I'll be like, it's fine.
It drives me up a wall.
Yeah, what was it that I did the one day? I did something and you were yelling at me. Oh, the scab to my burn came off. You were yelling at me.
Go put stuff on. And now it does not look great.
No, it doesn't. It's not infected.
How do you know?
It doesn't hurt.
Oh, well, okay. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
There's no pain.
Well, that's at least something.
It doesn't look the best.
Don't look good.
It doesn't look the best, but I am still living, so it is fine.
Mm-hmm.
All these sighted people are probably like, what is wrong with this blind person?
Yep.
Should treat injuries how they're supposed to be treated.
Yep. Trying to think what else. I know we had like the tongs that they had You have like normal tongs, right? That are like the two like things that you just like pick stuff up with. But these tongs have like a kind of like a tray almost underneath them, or not really a tray, but it's like
I know what
they're
you're talking
connected. And it's
Yeah,
supposed
those
to make
weird
it
ones?
easier. Yeah.
about. Yeah, I don't know how to use those. I'm confused with those. I don't know what I'm to use those for. We have those.
We do.
Yeah, I did not know why we had those.
Because of me.
That is why we have this.
Mhm.
I was very confused. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to use these for.
I think that we should use them like in lieu of like a spatula or something.
Should being the key word.
Should being the key word, and we haven't because sometimes it's just easier to use a spatula, as much as that pains me to say. I like the bigger spatulas though, like the ones that are like, they're bigger. Gives you more area to work with, as opposed to like the smaller ones that drive me up a wall.
I'm trying to think what else. Pans. Certain pans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we don't do like the cast iron or like anything like that.
We are A, not fancy people.
No.
And B, like, we need it to be, like, the pan needs to be, like, a certain color.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to see, like, some of the darker things, like ground meat, or what's some other dark things that I've cooked in that thing?
I mean, most of it's like ground meat for the most part. Like burgers,
bison,
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that. But, so, like, it's nice to have those so I can, see the meat.
Because, I mean, like, a lot of times we'll use, like, most normal things that everybody else uses. Like,
Yeah, most of the time it's kind of just like a slightly different version of that. Like, we could get like special equipment, but we don't.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could make our lives even easier probably and get like a talking meat thermometer, or like there are other things that are like that, and we just
like do like the bare minimum to make things slightly easier.
a lot of times, yeah, we do. Which we should be more like proactive for
Like, we could get like a vegetable dicer.
we
like,
had
a good
one.
A good one.
We had one and it went horribly awry. But yeah, no, I mean, like, even a lot of like kitchen gadgets now for like everybody, a lot of them are low vision friendly for the most part, I think. I don't know. It just depends on a lot of things. I will say, like, once I figured out how to work our air fryer, I really like it.
Good, then you can start using that, because I do not like that thing.
You do not like
I
it?
do not like that thing. I do not like air fryers. I do not like crock pots. Like, I do not like the easy, like, helpful cooking gadgets, like those things. I don't like it. But I also hate wasting the time to stand there and actually cook.
You know, you're going to have to pick a side there, Belle.
I know. I still just don't like those things. I think it's just, I'm just like, if I'm going, it's probably the Belle me just being like, I like the old school methods. Get your technology gadgets out of my way.
I mean, I do want to get a crock pot down here because I thought we had one, but apparently we didn't.
No, because I said I'm not using a crock pot.
I mean, it's kind of lucky we didn't bring it when we first came down here because there was no room. But now I do want to eventually grab one from home and bring it down.
Well, tell the mother.
I will, because we have many at home.
Many.
Mom is a little obsessed.
Well, no, it's Mom. Growing up, Mom would have to do a lot of cooking for our after-school activities. For drama club, during tech week, she would have to cook like 2 times for like everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, she's cooking for an army. Same thing with whenever I danced on Mondays, if it was her turn to cook dinner for the team, she had to cook for an army. Because, like, that's really what she had to do. Like, that's the proper way. If you are a parent and you have to give food to your child's after school activities or extracurricular teams or people or whatever. If you have to feed many a small children, make enough to feed an army.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, because like there were so many times that like it was dance and like parents didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like some of us would be like kind of hungry still because like we were burning a lot of calories, so we needed to just shove food in our mouths as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So like us older girls who would have to wait for the younger ones to get food, we'd just be like, oh my gosh, we're still hungry and we still have 3 hours left till we can go home.
Yep.
So we're all just like, we are starving still. So like, make it, if you're a parent, maybe invest in some crock pots.
Yeah. And I mean,
to feed the army of children. You may be like, oh, they're small children. They won't eat a lot.
they
They will. If it is there, they will eat it.
if it is there,
They will eat it. So like, please make enough to feed an army. Speaking from experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a lot of times she would bring, like, she would do different, I can't even remember what all she made.
I remember the one time she somehow was able to make like chicken nuggets. And I remember your drama club went feral. Like, I have never seen a group of people go more instinctual than those kids for those chicken nuggets, chicken tenders. Like, it was ridiculous. It was survival of the fittest.
I do remember that. It was chicken tenders, and we went purely insane. Like, it was purely like all of them.
It was like such like instinctual survival, like pre-programmed animalistic nature,
Like
for these chicken tenders.
Like, it was, we were a pack of wolves, and those chicken tenders were a deer.
Literally, I think after the first time that happened, like, so then like everybody, when they would find out Arya's mom was making dinner, they'd be like, is she making chicken tenders? Is she making chicken tenders? Like, are we getting chicken tenders?
And normally, like, I think mom at that point was like, give the people what they want.
Yeah, it was a lot of give the people what they want. And I think that's also the time when she's like, I'll do 2, and did chicken tenders one time, and then did like, I know she did spaghetti like another time or something like that. But like those chicken tenders, it got to the point where we would be like, where mom would just tell Arya, just, I will pack your own separate thing. Like, don't worry about this hoard. Like, and we would make like 300-400 chicken tenders.
300 or 400. No.
We would get like in the hundreds.
Oh my god.
And people would go feral.
I think they were always all gone.
They were. But to be fair, she was also feeding, you know, the directors, sometimes the pit. Like, she was feeding like actual adults with these children. But these children,
they were high schoolers, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, they were high schoolers.
And there was a fair bit of high school boys. So
there were
of those
a good
could
bit of high school
probably
boys.
put away 20.
Yeah, like they went, and especially what's his face, the giant. I'm not saying his name for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he could have packed away probably like 35 easily
on his own,
because he was just so big. Like, he was such a tall, muscular man.
Yeah, he was a big boy.
he was just all height and muscle. Sweetest man ever.
Yes.
So, like great guy, but like, holy crap, like they went nuts. So like, literally, if you are a parent, please make like feed an army, because like that's what it is. So like, she has a bunch of crock pots for that purpose,
to feed an army,
because she had to feed armies like many a time.
Yeah, that is true.
Because even whenever I danced, everyone was so excited when it was my mom cooking, because like, she actually did a home cooked meal, and that was like the one night a week we got an actual home cooked meal. And like, some parents wouldn't, they'd just go out and bye.
Which I mean,
Which I understand if you have a job and stuff. Like,
yeah,
okay.
if you have a job or like if you have zero cooking ability, like
Yeah.
that would be me. I would try to find like a really good place and just get enough to feed an army. Because normally that's like those are other times that they made sure that there was enough. Like they would get enough to feed an army.
Yeah, except the times when it was a lot of times parents would just be like, Chick-fil-A for like 3 weeks in a row. And sometimes we would not have enough.
Yeah, that was
Those weeks were rough. But like that's why everyone loved it when my mom did it, because it was like, we get a home cooked meal. The older girls did not have to worry about there not being enough food for us.
there was enough.
Because there was always enough. And then like the parents would eat some and it would be like, okay, fine. Like we had enough. Like it was like, we need to feed these children, like these poor children.
These children need the food.
We need the food.
They need the calories.
We're doing the work.
They're doing the work. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Like, I'm like thinking through like our drawers and, oh, I have a George Foreman grill.
That we've still never used.
No, I've used it. I've used it before we moved here, but I have used it. I do like it. It is nice. Maybe that's what I'll do tonight. I'll just grill up some chicken.
Oh, is that what we're doing for dinner?
I don't know. I haven't decided. You tell me.
Yeah, George. We'll figure. Yeah, I think. Yeah. What do we have in the freezer? What food do we got?
I don't know. We'll have to go look after this.
Yeah, we need to look because we need to decide what we're doing.
Yeah, because we never decide. Like, that's my problem in life. Like, Belle is just like, I want to decide all of these things, and I want to prep, and I want to plan, and I want to do this. And I was like, I cannot think more than one day at a time.
Yeah, so it's always like, when I come home at like 3-something, what are we doing for dinner? Oh, I don't know. Well, you probably should have gotten that out earlier.
But that was too far ahead. I wasn't there yet. Cue us, like, me hurriedly trying to de-thaw stuff.
Me still cooking frozen meat.
Like, it's fine. We get it cooked in the end, and we haven't died yet. So, I mean...
Yeah. They're all like, Belle, this is slightly undercooked. Me, they're nuking it in the microwave. Me just eating it.
It's fine.
They're like, that's unhealthy. You could get sick. I haven't gotten sick yet.
I haven't died yet.
I haven't died yet. So, like, that's the threshold, everybody.
Yeah. No, I mean, we try, but honestly, like, the meat thermometer helps a lot with that, though. Like, there hasn't been nearly as much stuff that you have done since we've gotten meat thermometers.
The digital meat thermometers.
Yeah. They're the best.
They are quite lovely and quite handy, especially when you have trouble seeing the dial of the others.
Yeah, it has to be digital. Digital or bust.
Yeah, honestly.
But, I mean, I feel like that's most of it. I mean, we have a bunch of different types of mixing bowls, but you prefer metal where I prefer the plastic.
Yeah, I think that's also just because I spent a lot of time with Grandma growing up, and she would make me salads. Okay, I was a child, and I still love salads. Like, salads, best food ever. I'm not a health person. I'm not a weight, like, watching my weight person. It's literally, I love salads. I have since I was a baby. Like, I love it. So, like, she would always make me salads in this big metal mixing bowl.
Yeah.
And so, like, they were the best salads all the time. I miss those.
Yeah.
They were so good. That and the apple cake.
Oh, I miss the apple cake.
I miss the apple cake.
I miss it. Big bunches.
Mom thinks she found a recipe for it.
Fingers crossed.
I hope, because, like, I want that so bad.
I know. It's so good.
But, so, like, I think I'm just used to that. And then whenever I moved in college and I got my own, like, I had to live in an apartment and stuff, we got, like, old metal mixing bowls for cheap at a secondhand store that our dad friend owns and operates and stuff. And that money, what, goes to charity?
I think so, yeah.
Most of it goes to charity, minus, like, some to, keep the business running, like rent, electricity, and that. So we got those, and so I personally like those. I'll use the plastic, but because the plastic are the bigger ones we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I do need to use those sometimes for, like, the baking or the bigger things that we have going on. But
Yeah.
I tend to, if I'm, like, just using them to, like, I needed to measure out this much for this, and, like, I use this metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, I mean, we do use paper plates too.
We do, but that's just pure laziness.
That is. But also, like, I will admit, I dislike styrofoam plates.
I do too.
Strongly.
I don't like that I can't really just stab with reckless abandonment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. No, like, we do survive well at restaurants where we don't have the...
Yeah, I mean, we're so used to it that it's you just... I mean, a lot of times, too, a go-to meal for me at a restaurant is chicken tenders and fries. It's an old, reliable, know I'm going to like it. And so it doesn't matter what color the plate is because, you know, you're able to see that.
Yeah, for me, it's still... I don't have a go-to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's a lot of what I feel at that time.
Mm-hmm. Like, even at the Mexican restaurant that's near here, like, those plates aren't necessarily the best color contrast, but
No,
we deal.
But we normally get quesadillas.
Yeah, and that's easy because
That's
it's
easy.
Just
that's mainly like a finger thing we can pick up.
Mm-hmm. Or, well, I normally cut mine with a knife and fork.
Well, yeah, when we get stuff in it. But if we just get cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else.
That sounds amazing right now, actually.
Okay, so I know.
It sounds real good.
Do they deliver? Do they DoorDash?
I will have to look.
Okay. I hope, because, like, it's not that far. But I am also just lazy and I don't want to make that walk.
So yeah, we make do though for whatever it is, you know, some like a lot of times like, and it's kind of a good thing. Like most restaurants have white plates. Like
yeah,
9
most restaurants
times out
have
of
white
10,
plates.
They're white plates.
I think the only time white plates are really a problem is for me when it's like mashed potatoes.
Exactly. And I don't get mashed potatoes.
You don't get mashed potatoes.
So
and normally, that's why, like, with mashed potatoes, I normally am like, gravy. I
circumvent the problem.
You circumvent the issue.
But no, I'm thinking like Applebee's, I get the chicken pasta stuff.
Oh, I get the chicken broccoli Alfredo. That can be kind of difficult.
That can be a little difficult, but like at that point...
But at that point, it's stab with reckless abandonment.
Exactly. You can stab and you can figure it out. Like
that's why I think it's more important.
Well, you're more of a like stab and reckless abandonment, and I'm more of a like I will push stuff around.
Yeah, you push stuff around, and I like after like so long of stabbing and reckless abandonment, I will push things to a side. Mm-hmm. But like when it's just set in front of me, like fresh and like there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it's more important almost to have the like proper silverware than the plates, because like as long as I can feel the change in silverware.
And I was gonna say, I think
I can survive and not look like an idiot.
What are the only heavy utensils? I want to say it's at like Olive Garden, Red Lobster.
Yeah, where like the handle is super heavy. Mm-hmm. The one set of silverware we almost got, that was heavy.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't.
Because I said no.
Well, you said no, and I was like, but.
And I said, we can still get black, just, you know, the lighter version of the black. Which we did. We compromised with each other.
It's funny because our mom was just like, you want black silverware, but yet because they were here for Christmas, she turned on the garbage disposal and like there was a spoon in the sink, and she was like, this is the only bad thing with black silverware. You can't see it if something like ends up kind of down there.
Yeah.
And it was like, but knock on wood,
that was the only time that has happened.
We've never had that issue. Like, I feel like I feel like we know though that can be a problem. So we tend to like keep the silverware away from the drain, like if we can help it. We tend to keep it towards the front of the sink instead of the back of the sink.
Yeah.
And that makes it...
Or like in things that we put in the sink. Like
Right, yeah.
a cup of silverware.
Yeah, like it will end up being the silverware just stays like on top of the bowl or...
In the bowl or...
In the bowl, on top of the plate.
I think currently in our sink, we currently have a mug of silverware.
Yeah, like...
going on right now.
We find ways to keep, the silverware away from the drain, and then we fix it up from there. That's easy. For the most part, it's easy.
Yeah.
I think. And normally I'm pretty careful when like loading the dishwasher and stuff.
Yes, you are.
So, but yeah. So I think that about sums it up, I guess, for the kitchen gadgets. I know that, again, we know that there is more we could be doing, and maybe one day we'll kind of do some research and just for like general gadgets that like could be useful to other people, and just talk about that one day. That might be much further down the line, but yeah. So that being said, we want to thank you for coming along today as we talked about different kitchen gadgets that we use to help us. Of course, if you like this episode, if you like what you've been listening to, please consider following the podcast and sharing the episode with your friends. It really would help us to grow the show, and we would appreciate the support those actions would give. And if you want to leave a review, that would also be helpful too. And then what are we going to be talking about next time?
I'm slipping.
You are slipping.
I even thought about it too. I was like, oh wait, I need to do that thing, and then I did not do that thing. Hobbies.
Okay, so next time we're going to be talking about how we do different hobbies. So we'll see you guys next time then. Bye.